In this video, I will share with you how much money I'm making today and how much money I have been making for the last 15 years. I will share my view on money, my relationship with money, what's important, what's not important to me. Let's go. If you're new to the channel and you never met me, I'm gonna take you all the way back to 2005. I came to the United States in June 2005. So first year was not a full year, only count for 6 months. In the first 3 months of that year, I only made about $1,500. My first job was in a small town called Eagle River, Wisconsin. I was a kitchen staff. It was a summer student exchange program. I came there, you know, they provided shelter for me, they provided food. So $1,500 was actually not a bad deal. I came to the United States, I have about $200. Took me about a year to save that when I was a student in Russia. I dropped out of university. I already have a college degree. I always wanted to be a teacher, but after 2 years of university, I decided to go to the United States. The reason was very simple. I'm oldest of 7 kids and I wanted to change my family tree. I wanted to take care of my parents. I wanted to help my siblings. And on a teacher salary in Russia or United States for that matter, it would just not be possible. I also want to share with you a story behind Eminem's song, the intro on our channel. So many people asking like why we would choose that song. It's a very special song. In 2004, I barely could speak English. I learned enough English in 1 year prior coming to the United States. It took me about 1 year to pick up enough English language to pass that interview. I felt like I won the lottery. That Eminem song is so special because at the time Eminem was #1 rapper in Russia. I literally learned English by translating Eminem songs and watching Friends. If you had one shot, one opportunity to capture everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or let it slip? Coming to the United States was that one shot, one opportunity for me, and I took it. As a matter of fact, in 2015, I moved my parents here. So when I came to the United States, rarely shares the story, I became homeless. So after Eagle River, Wisconsin, I moved to Chicago, and for an entire month, I could not find a job. I actually had to borrow money, $500, to buy my second car because first car that we bought did not make $100.
My car. I go Chicago.
Imagine this. You come to the foreign country, you barely can speak their language. They pay you $1,500 for the first 3 months. You buy a car using that money and that car breaks on you. I mean, just imagine that. When it breaks on you, you have to go buy another car. So we bought another car. I borrowed money, borrowed $500 from guys who were going back to my country, and we spent entire month living in that car on the streets of Chicago. I didn't have like $5 to my name. I found my first job in a deli department in Chicago. Job was about $6 an hour, and I want to give you first lesson today. I was making $6 an hour. They were paying overtime, so it equals to about $2,000 a month. Making $2,000 a month back in 2005, I could save $1,000. Not many contractors can save $1,000 a month. As a matter of fact, 70% of Americans cannot write $1,000 check in case of emergency. After living 4 months in the car, I found a couple guys. We moved together. 3 guys were renting an apartment. My rent was like $350. I could eat in a store, so it was one of the best jobs I ever have actually. I learned customer service. I was in a warm place. I was guaranteed hours. I was working about 70 hours every day, 12 to 10 shift. At the end, I got a second job, so I worked in 2 delis, 7 to 2 at one place and 4 to 10 at another, 14-hour shifts. But I saved up a lot of money. In 2005, I only made $8,000 in about 6-month period. Moved to Minnesota, found my childhood friend. He invited me to his company. You know, I rented an apartment in Minnesota. In 2006, I was making about $10 an hour being a siding installer. It was not a stable job. A lot of days we did not work because it was raining or snowing. I didn't have a friends or family. I wasn't married at the time. Just met my future wife here in Minnesota. In 2006, I made about $18,000 that year, so it wasn't a lot of money. In 2007, I moved to Atlanta, found a job in the cabinet shop. Stayed there for about a year and a half, one of the best jobs I ever have. I learned a lot of skills, how to work with the wood. As a matter of fact, I built a lot of furniture for my house. So in 2007, I made about $25,000. In 2008, I have the conversation with my boss. And at that time, I grew from $10 an hour to $13.75 after being with the company for about a year. And I asked him, what's my future here? I remember the boss took about 2 weeks to give me an answer. He came back to me and he said, I will give you 75-cent raise every 6 months. I did my math, and it'll take me about 5 years to get to $25 an hour. I gave him my 2 weeks notice because, with the 2 kids, I wanted my wife to stay home. It was just not enough money to provide for the family. And I actually found right after that one of the nastiest jobs I've ever had. I became insulation installer. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you see those bags of insulation. They made me $10.99. I had to buy my insurance. They were paying me by bag, so $5 per bag. Some days I would make $50, some days I would make $30, sometimes I make $100 a day. Very nasty, very dirty, everything comes in your eyes. I've done it for about 3-4 months, and I found another job in construction company downtown Atlanta, Berg-Built. Absolutely love that company. It helped me a lot. I started there at about $13.75, and at the end I was making about $25 an hour. I have about 9 raises in that company. Working for a remodeling company, we've done a whole bunch of projects. I was making in 2009 $36,000 a year. In 2010 I was making about $40,000 a year. In 2011, when the company went bankrupt, I started my own business. I decided to choose floors because that was the fastest money for me. Economy was really bad. I was charging about $1 a foot, and I want to give you guys advice. Many people are judging startup companies by being too cheap, being the cheapest bid. There's nothing wrong with it. In 2011, nobody, absolutely nobody would give me $25 an hour, but I was making $50, $60 an hour installing my own floors. I was fast. My going rate was about 500 squares per day. So my first couple weeks in business, I was making $2-3 grand a week. So my income starts going up. I pretty much start paying myself about $1,000 a week, which equals to about $52,000 a year. I kept money in the company. I was hiring employees. I got my showroom, warehouse. I was cheap, but it was still better than working for someone else. This is what I recommend you guys. Build consistently. Just like in fitness, it takes years, times to build a skill set. If you become better and better and better every day, you will never go back. It's very steady. I see a lot of guys jumping up and down, trying new things. This year they're making 100K, next year they're making 70K. In 15 years, I never went back. In 2012, we have a family emergency. My mother-in-law in Minnesota got cancer. And I came home to my wife one day and said, listen, your mom cannot travel to us anymore. We don't have any family here. All my wife's family at the time was in Minnesota. My parents were not here yet. I moved them to the United States in 2015. So I told my wife, let's sell the business and let's move to Minnesota. And this is exactly what I did. I sold my flooring business and I moved to Minnesota. So what I did is I started a roofing company in 2013. And in the beginning, I was paying myself $1,000 a week. And in 2013, I actually paid myself $60K. I could have paid myself $140, but I kept all the money in the business. In 2014, I paid myself $80,000 a year, and we were doing, I believe, $1.3, almost $1.4 million. I could pay myself more. As a matter of fact, I have people who work for me who I paid more. I have production manager who I paid $100,000. And this is another advice I want to give you. It's okay to pay people who work for you to get paid more. You have to compensate people based on their skills, based on how much value they bring to the organization. Keep as much money in a business as possible, pay yourself as little as possible. That's my mantra in life. My family grew over the years too. In Minnesota, after we moved, we have our child number 5. So kids start growing, expenses grow. Like you have kids activities. All 5 kids go to private school. So of course I had to pay myself more. And that leads us to 2015 when I finally but I reached that goal. It wasn't even a goal, it was minimum wage, if you will. In 2015, I started paying myself $100,000 a year. So that's my journey in 10 years. And I want to give you a couple tips, guys. Listen, stop chasing money. Chasing money will never get you money. There are 3 types of contractors that I see in this industry. So you probably will recognize these types as well. And you ask yourself, which one do you want to be? First type is always broke contractor. They're always broke. The moment you give them cash, money, wherever, checks, it's cashed, it's done. It's the kind of contractor or tradesman who always will ask you for gas money. You know, can you spare me $20 so I can finish the project? You know, we see those guys. They work hard, but they're stupid and they're just never happy because they're always broke. Second type of contractors is always happy contractor. Guys, there's so many opportunities in construction industry. I have so many friends who are living amazing life, American dream life. They're not chasing 5, 10, 20 million marks. They're happy what they have. Sometimes they have teams, sometimes they're solo, very good type of contractor. And the third one is never enough contractor. A lot of storm chasers are coming into this category. It's just no matter what you do, it doesn't matter if you build 5, 10, $15 million company, it's never enough. You're just never happy with what you have. I want to give you advice, be the second time. No matter what you have, listen, you can be happy with the $25,000 a year, like truly happy. So for me, the reason I went to 100,000, not because I wanted Lambo or nicer house or bigger boat, because my family grew and I wanted to support that. So that's my reason why, my family, my kids, and I'm a happy man for that. Comment below if you like content like this. I'll share more with you. On a side note, I will say this. Today, I pay myself about $150,000 a year. That's my minimum wage. This is what I bring home. See you guys in the next video. Give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for your attention. Be blessed.